Hello guys, welcome to another video. First of all, I want to say that this story doesn't belong to me, so if you want to read the full story for yourself, you can go down in the description to find the link to the original post and read the full story for yourself. That being said, let's get into the video. Legacy, Part 16 and Chapter 16, Preliminaries. Team 8 was walking towards their assigned room. Since they completed the second task of the tuning exam in one day, they could relax and recover during the 4 available days. Naruto-kun, Hinata said, getting Naruto's attention. If I had to fight Gaara, do you think I could win? She asked. They continued walking and Naruto was thinking. After a few moments, he decided to reply. I don't really know what he can do, but when we meet him, he had sand around him, and apparently he is the son of the fourth Kazakage, so he probably can control sand with his chakra. Since you are a water type, you can drench his sand in water to make it slower and more chakra draining to use for forcing him to waste more chakra, but if he decided to use his Biju, then I think he would lose. Unless you do that trick I taught you, he said, grinning. I guess you're right, she replied. Shino just heard the conversation with interest. This year there was a lot of tough competition. His bugs wouldn't be much against a Biju, since primarily he uses them to drain the enemy's chakra, and draining a Biju might take a while. They arrived at their room and found it a standard room. It had 3 single beds and a small bathroom, a small desk with chair and a window. Do you think you will be able to sleep without me? Naruto said, grinning. Oh, I am not sleeping without you, she said, walking towards him. If you hold me close enough, I think we will be just fine, she replied and kissed him. I like the idea, she said, smiling and holding her. Want to go eat something? He said, and she nodded. Hey, Shino, want to come? He asked, and the bug boy simply nodded. They finished unpacking and left their stuff in the room. Team 8 got out of the room and walked towards the hall, heading towards the other floors. The tower in the middle of the death forest was relatively small. It had 5 floors. The first was a reception and the arena. The second was the kitchen, and the third and the fourth floors were the rooms and bathrooms, and the last floor was the administration and surveillance room. They had their way down they made their way down the floor and quickly found the kitchen. There was plenty of food already prepared due to the tuning exams. They entered the kitchen and noticed they weren't alone. Inside the kitchen there was the sand team. Hey Gara, Naruto said, waving as he entered the kitchen. Both Kankuro and Tamari instinctively stiffened, as they knew that Gara would flip at could flip anytime. Hinata and Shino were just a bit wary of them. Uzumaki, Naruto, Gara said, eyeing Naruto carefully. You interest me, he said. Sorry, but I'm not swinging that way. Besides, I already have a girlfriend, Naruto said, chuckling and kissing Hinata's cheek. Gara's eyes twitched at his statement. Zamari and Kankuro were wondering if all Leaf Shinobis had a death wish. Mother will have your blood, and then everyone will acknowledge my existence, Gara said with a sick smile. Mother, you do realize Shukaku is a male, right? Naruto said, and you don't have to kill to have people notice you. He finished. I don't mean I do it. I It doesn't matter. Once I kill you, I shall forever prove my existence. Gara said, you want people to acknowledge you, then find people to protect. Instead of killing them, fight to protect them, and those few precious people will acknowledge you forever. Naruto explained. You fight to protect people, Gara asked. Yes, that is right. Your true strength emerges when you fight to protect those you care about, Naruto said. A fool. We are nothing but murderers. Murderers. We kill to we live to kill. We are weapons. Gara said. Kankara and Tamari were listening to the conversation and wondering if they could leave because this conversation seemed to be heating up. I never consider myself a weapon, Naruto said. You are a fool and I shall prove it to you. Once I kill you, everyone will notice my existence, Gara said. Fine then. When we meet at the arena, I shall prove it to you that acknowledgement comes from the people that you care about, Naruto said. And his team left the room, leaving a thirsty Gara behind. Hey, Himi, I'm going to talk to Anko. I will meet you later. Naruto said, alright, see you later. She replied and gave him a quick kiss. Floor 5, surveillance room. Naruto separated from his team and headed towards the fifth floor. He walked towards said room and knocked on the door. He opened it, and in the room there was the Hokage, Anko, Ibiki, and a few Chunins. Something you need, Naruto-kun, the Hokage asked as he watched the blonde enter the room. Can I talk to you in private? Can I talk to you in private with Anko? Naruto asked, and the Anko and to that Anko raised an eyebrow, wondering what the kid wanted. Of course, the Hokage replied and made the gesture for everyone to leave the room except Anko. Naruto flashed through a few hand seals and said, "Sound barrier seal." There was a small flash of light and suddenly vanished. Anko was surprised by seeing a Genin using these types of seals, but she knew what kind of life Naruto had lived. If he wanted to survive, he would have to pick up his pace. Now then, I would like to check out that car seal if you don't mind, Naruto said, and Anko involuntarily brought her neck to her neck, hand to her neck. Why do you want to see it? She asked. She didn't like talking about her past. I want to know if I am capable of removing it, Naruto said, and Uncle started laughing. Kid, I will give you that. You are strong, but this seal cannot be removed, Uncle regretfully said. Any seal can be broken, Naruto said. Have faith. Besides, it doesn't hurt to try. It doesn't hurt to try. Come on, Uncle. You don't know about Naruto is a seal master, the Hokage said, and Anko raised an eyebrow and watched him carefully. You are telling me this kid is a seal master? The only one of the leaf is Jorah of the Sun, and even he already tried, Anko said. Yes, he is telling you the truth. He already provided our village with a few seals of his own, improved exploding tags, remote detonation tags, and his own creation flash tags. The Hokage explained. Ango still had her doubts. I will make a bet with you. If I can't remove it, I will pay you an all-you-can-eat at Dango shop. However, if I can remove it, you do the same for me in the ramen stand, he said, grinning. Fine, Anko said, sighing and removing her coat so Naruto could more easily have access to her car's mark. Naruto activated Sharingan to perfectly memorize the seal. He placed his finger on the curse mark and channeled a bit of chakra. He noticed the mark slightly glow and made Anko slightly win. It must be turned to Orochimaru's chakra signature, Naruto thought. Anko, I need you to activate the seal, please, Naruto said and stared, watching her chakra network carefully with his Sharingan to notice the change. Fine, she replied. Anko channeled chakra to her seal and it began spreading across her whole body. Black marks were emanating from the seal and spreading across her skin, reaching the whole body. Naruto watched carefully with his Sharingan, analyzing every small chance. Interesting, Naruto said he said and closed his eyes. What do you think, Kurama? Can we force your chakra into the seal to break it? Naruto said forcing my chakra would destroy the car's seal but would most likely badly poison her. She wouldn't survive without a good medic around. Kurama replied. Naruto opened his eyes and saw both of them stare at him. I was talking to the furball about it. Naruto said, you can talk to it? Anko asked, yes, but it's not an it, it's a him. Naruto replied seriously, anyways, I could force the Kyuubi's chakra to it and destroy it, but it would poison you. It would require Bachan herself to be able to stabilize you long enough to remove it. Naruto explained. Bachan, Anko explained. My grandmother Tsunade, Naruto replied. Holy schnitzel. You are her grandson? Anko half yelled. Tsunade was a legend among all of Konoha. She was what every Konoichi she was a legend among all Konoichi. She was what every Konoichi wanted, to be strong and beautiful with the right assets. Yes, but if keep it to yourself. Now I noticed that the seal beside lake leaking chakra to it sends a few chemicals to the bloodstream, most likely to create addiction and addition and increasing the body's stamina and strength. Either way, I would need Bachan to remove it, either using the QV or not. Either using the QV or not, Naruto said, and he could see the frown on her face. Tsunade had left the village years ago. There is one thing I can do. Be right back, Naruto said and vanished in a yellow flash. Hokage and Anko's eyes widened. They hadn't seen that flash in over 14 years. What was that? Anko startled. The Hokage managed to regain sense and asked, now do you believe me? Anko only managed to dumbly nod. A few moments later, Naruto reappeared in the room with a large scroll in his hand. Naruto placed the scroll on the ground and opened it to show a very big complex ceiling area. Anko, sit in the middle of the scroll, please, Naruto said and got a look of confusion. Naruto sighed and continued, I may not be able to remove the seal but I can place a resistance and block the seal that will permanently lock away the seal. Basically, you would have to force chakra to the seal to activate it, and you will no longer have to have the constant pain. Naruto explained, and Anko quickly sat in the scroll. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Anko said, getting ready for the continuous pain to leave her. It may hurt a bit while the seal is applied. Naruto said, it must be. I am used to pain. I'm used to pain, Anko said. Okay. Naruto walked up to Anko and placed his hand on her curse mark. Placed his hand on her curse and mark. A few seconds later, Kanzi erupted from his hand and spread across Anko and the scroll. Ready? Naruto asked, and she nodded. evil sealing method, Naruto said in an intense. All kanji began rushing towards his hand that was placed in her on her curse seal. Anko beat her lips in pain, but she could handle it. After a few moments, all the kanjis reached a curse seal, and formed a ring around the seal as if locking it. Naruto removed his hand, and Anko relaxed. We are done. How do you feel? Now Naruto asked. A second later, uncles all over him, kissing and pressing her body against him, much to the jealousy of the old Hokage, who had a trickle of blood flowing in his nose. Okay, uncle, I have a girlfriend, you know. Naruto rhetorically asked. Don't worry, kid. Besides, it was my way of saying thank you. Even though it's still here, it no longer hurts. I can barely feel it on my neck. Uncle said happily. Don't mention it. Naruto said, Hey Gigi, do you think you could bring Sasuke here for me to do the same to him? Naruto asked. The Hokage nodded and said, Bore. Immediately in front of him appeared an Anbu and kneeling before him. Hi, Hokage-sama, the Anbu said, bring me Uchiha Sasuke. The Hokage ordered and the Anbu left. Naruto turned to the Hokage. Do you think he will accept to have it blocked? Naruto asked. Why wouldn't he? The Hokage raised an eyebrow. Do you realize he's intent to kill his brother, right? Naruto asked, and the Hokage nodded. And do you think he will gladly forget this power? Naruto asked. I see your point, but I have faith he will do the right. He will do the right choice. The old Hokage said. He is naive. All Uchiha must burn. Kurama said, chuckling evilly. What the hell, Kurama? I have Uchiha blood. Naruto screaming. You and your father are different. You are not power-hungry fools, and you are not arrogant. Well, except when you are in the middle of battle. Kurama said, I only say that stuff to piss the enemy off. If he gets angry, he will make mistake. I will capitalize on. And Naruto replied. They waited for a few moments until the Anbu appeared in the room, followed by a pissed off Sasuke, who, by the look of it, just woke up from his Neji's induced sleep. What do you want? What do you want? Sasuke said, glaring at Naruto. We need you to sit in the middle of the scroll to seal your curse mark. Naruto answered, Why would I want to do that? I need this power. Sasuke said, idiot, you would be willing to be used as a puppet so that you would kill your brother? Naruto asked, Shut up, you don't know anything, and I would gladly give my life if it meant to kill him. Sasuke said, and Naruto just shook his head. Fine, sit in the scroll anyway, since for now it is possible to remove the curse seal safely without killing the host. I am applying a suppression seal that would allow for the host to have better control over the seal. Naruto explained, and Sasuke smirked. You shouldn't use it. I can see that the host tends to develop an addiction to its power. Naruto explained, and Sasuke simply shrugged it off. It was a gift, and I intend to use it, Sasuke said, and Naruto shook his head. This might hurt a bit, Naruto said, but didn't mind much. He did the same step as for Anko and placed his hand on his curse seal. Evil sealing method, Naruto said. Sasuke screamed for a few minutes, and when it was complete, he fell to the floor unconscious. Bore, take him to him take him to his room. He must be exhausted from the forest of death, the Hokage said, and the Anbu took off. Seeing you guys in 4 days, Naruto said and left the room followed by a very happy uncle. You would be so proud of your son Minato, Kushina, the Hokage thought as he also left the room. He had a preparation to do for the finals. 4 days later, the next 4 days went by without any travel, and they were boring as hell. They weren't allowed to leave the tower until the end of the second phase of the Chunin exam. During these 4 days, a few more teams arrived to the tower as he expected. The team from Taki and Kumo also arrived. Every competitor was summoned to the arena, and it filled it facing the it filled it facing the Hokage. The arena room was pretty much empty. The room had a giant stage with a shinobi doing the ram seal. There were two bisons, one in each side of the room of the spectators. Beside the stadium was a big electronic board. First, I must congratulate you all for passing the second round of the Chunin exams, the Hokage said, and a few smirked, thinking they were the best. Now, the Hokage started, but was interrupted by another shinobi. Do you mind if I continue, Hokage-sama? Said the shinobi asked the shinobi, and the Hokage shook his head. My name is Gecko Hayate, and I am the proctor of this part of the Chunin exams. Hayate said he had short brown hair and dark marking under his eyes. Even though he was a young man, he had pronounced lines under his eyes as well as an unexplained chronic coughing that plagued him. He wore the standard Konoha shinobi outfit, completed with a forehead protector that he wore as a bandana, a flak jacket, and regular shinobi sandals. He also carried a katana with a retaining handle guard strapped over his back. Before we can proceed, we will need to have preliminaries match, Hayate said, and the Genin erupted in protest. What do you mean by preliminary match? Kiba asked. We didn't expect this many people to pass the exam, so we'll have to thin out the competitions. During the third phase of the exam, many nobles assist the match, and their time is precious to not to be unnecessarily wasted. Hayate explained, and a few were against it. Why would we risk our lives for this? Someone yelled. I think you misunderstand the meaning of the Chunin exams, the Hokage said, and everyone turned to face him. The Chunin exams are used to promote promising getting to Chunin. However, there is somewhat of an underlying object. The Chunin exams are a substitute for war, and to prove that the country that is competing is strong. The strength of the village is the strength of a village is the strength of their shinobi, and the strength of their shinobi only flourishes in the life and death battle. The Hokage explained, by having shinobi compete in the Chunin exam, the country can prove their strength, which will award them a higher number of missions, bringing more wealth to the village. The Hokage concluded, before we begin these is there anyone who wishes to forfeit? Hayate asked, and No one stepped forward. Very well. We shall begin now. The match is ended by either knockout or death or im, 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 impairment. If I declare the winner, the match ends immediately. Understood? Hayate said, eyeing them seriously, and everyone nodded. The name will appear on that electronic board randomly, Hayate explained as the board started shuffling through names. Since we have an odd number of competitors on a few, will advance immediately to the third round of the tuning exam, Hayate explained as the board went random names. Sabuko no Kankaro will have a free pass. Hayate said, lucky I can go to the final without showing my skill. Conqueror thought the board started going through new names until it stopped. Will Uchiha, Sasuke, and Rin Azumi step forward to the rest of you please go to the balcony. Hayate explained, and everyone left the arena except Sasuke and Azumu, who are staring at each other in the balcony. Go, Sasuke-kun! Sakura yelled, cheering for her Uchiha. Might as well see if I learn anything. Naruto said, activating his Sharingan and proceeded to analyze the match. Uchiha Sasuke versus Rin Azumi. Fighters ready? Hayate asked and both nodded. Hajime, start. Hayate said and jumped back. As soon as Hayate started the match, Sasuke rushed towards the enemy, went for a low kick. As Sasuke expected, Izumi jumped up and Sasuke took this opportunity to quickly continue his rotation and placing a kick is Azumi's stomach, making him fly to the ground, giving up. You are give up. You are no match for the Uchihas. Sasuke smugly said. Azumi slowly got up and cleared his lips that got busted when he crashed into the ground. Azami angered by being blasted in the little marking quickly made hand seals and said, Doton, earth spikes, slamming his hand on the ground. The ground in front of Azami rose slightly and threw a few rock spikes at Sasuke with moderate speed. Sasuke quickly dodged all of them and yelled Katon. Phoenix fired jutsu and went with multiple small fireballs towards the enemy. Azami didn't have the skill to dodge them all and took onto his left leg and another to his shoulder, leaving him in the ground, slightly burned in pain. Winner Uchiha Sasuke medics, Hayate said, and Sasuke smirkly and made his way up to the balcony near his team, which immediately went to heal Azumi. We didn't even need Sharingan, Sasuke thought. Congratulations, Sasuke-kun, Sakura said with star in her eyes as he watched her beloved Sasuke-kun making his way up to the stairs. At least the only fangirl that are here are Ino and Sasuke, Sakura, Ino and Sakura. Naruto said and got glares from both Ino and Sakura. You know, Naruto-kun, I am a fangirl, she said, and Naruto rose an eyebrow. You are? Kuronai asked. Of course, I am Naruto's fangirl. Coughing. Naruto Hinata started and cleared her voice. Squealy. Oh, Naruto-kun is so cool. Will you go out with me? I cannot do that voice. She asked with stars in her eyes and her best puppy dog face. I can't say no to you, Himi. Naruto said, laughing and kissed her. Kurenai just saw it drop, and Kakashi chuckled at their antics. I seriously need a boyfriend, Ino said with stars in her eyes, watching the both of them. Congrats, congrats, Sasuke, Kakashi said. Sasuke granted, making Sakura squall in delight. They watched the board go. Another set of random names: Haruna Sakura, and Yamanaka Ino. Please step into the arena to begin your match, Hayate said. Like, yeah, they both are nothing. Due to the author means to say that the fight goes pretty much the same as canon. Both due to the condition being unconscious, I declare this match a tie, Hayate said fangirls. Yugito started the disgrace of Konoichi if they spend more time training instead of drooling over the Uchiha over there. They wouldn't be slapping each other. It's just sad. Yukito said, and everybody nodded, agreeing with her. At least you learn how to properly slap someone. Naruto said, and everyone's sweat dropped. Sabuko no Gara and Mayo Fuzi, please step into the arena to begin your match. Hayate said, and Gara used his traditional stand Shishuin to the arena while his opponent jumped off. Sabuko no Gara versus Iwa Fuji. Ready? Hayate asked. Fuji nodded, and in Gara's case, he left his guard and started dancing around him. Sand left his guard and started dancing around in Hajime. The proctor said and jumped away. He would sense the rise in Gaara's bloodlust. Sand shuriken. Gaara immediately said and sent 10 shurikens he made with his sand towards the enemy. Fuji didn't expect such a sudden attack and made a risky evasion, maneuvering by ducking to the ground. Fuji was rising when he noticed his foot were caught in something. He looked down and saw sand wrapped around his foot and quickly rising. Fuji tried to struggle to get free, but it seemed the more he struggled, the quicker it wrapped around him. Not even 5 seconds later, Fuji was completely covered in sand, coughing. Gaara said as he brought his open hand up. He suddenly closed his hand and said, "Sand funeral." Gaara closing his hand in a fist as immediately the sand around Fuji collapsed, completely crushing him. Fuji exploded in a swirl of blood that covered most of all the arena. Winner, Sabuko no Gara. Hayate said, a little distressed, as someone would kill this easily, even more in a tournament. He killed him, Sakura said, and as she had waked up just in time to see the bloody end. Fuji, Fu martyred to her Fuji. Fu martyred to herself, even though in her village only Shibuki liked her. She still wouldn't want to kill anyone and wish their deaths for that fact. That Tenuki always wanted destruction. He still is insane. Kurama said to Naruto, I guess I need to defeat him if we face off to prove my point. Naruto replied, Uzumaki, you will be mine. Gaara almost yelled, pointing to our favorite blonde standing in the balcony. I already told you I don't swing that way, Naruto said, and the pressurized pissed Gaara off as he shot a wave of sand towards him. Naruto watched the sand come to him, and before anyone could react, the sand wrapped around him and immediately crushed him. Naruto! Kakashi yelled, as he watched his little brother getting crushed to death. Gaara smiled as he finally got this precious blood offering to his mother. He quickly removed his sand to show an untouched Uzumaki. Naruto, did you do something? Naruto asked. The reaction were very indifferent. Kakashi sighed in relief. Tamari and Kankaro had their jaws on the floor as they saw the blonde unhurt. Yugito stared at the blonde specifically to her was truly an Igima. Shinigami. Not Shinigami. He was truly an Injima. Eh, maybe a mistype. Naruto made a quicksilent Shishuin and landed right in front of Gaara. He proceeded to plant a very firm kick in the stomach and sent him flying to the wall. The sand wasn't quick enough to protect, and everyone could see small cracks appear in his skin. He hit Gaara. Conqueror said, flag busted. He never saw his brother get hit for that fact, and yet this blonde kid just appeared in front of him and gave him a kick like it was nothing. So you do have another defensive sand layer, Naruto said as he watched Gaara get up and the cracks disappeared. Enough! The voice of the Hokage roared through the room intensely, putting everyone in attention. Naruto, stand down, and you! The Hokage started pointing to Baki and the sand team Chonin. Control your student, or we will disqualify them for you. Apologies, Hokage Sama, Baki said, bowing to the Hokage that Gaara also ruined Gaara almost ruined everything. Tenten versus Tamari. Everything goes like the canon. Hyuga, Neji, and Akimichi Choji, please step into the arena to begin your match. Hayate said, and Choji got kinda scared, but nonetheless they both made their way down. Hashime, Hayate said. As soon as the proctor said the match, Neji activated his Byakugan and charged at Choji. Choji panicked and started a sloppy, innocence human boulder tank. Choji started spinning and going with a good speed against Neji. Neji watched him approach and quickly made a palm. Neji dodged to the side and placed his foot in front of Choji's Choji's path. This action made Choji bump into his foot and rise into the air, quickly losing his strength and ending the technique and allowing Neji to give him a few good Jugen strike and that left him unconscious on the ground. Winner Hyuga Neji. Hayate said it was his fate to lose to me. Neji smugly said. Neji walked up to the stand and was congratulated by Tenten. He didn't know it, but she had a crush on him. But even with his superior eyes, he was too blind to see it. Hyuga Hanada versus Karui of Kumo, please step into the arena to begin the match. Hinata was leaving when Naruto pulled her back and gave her a small kiss on the cheek. For luck, he said, and she smiled. I know you don't like Kumo, but don't go overboard. Naruto whispered to her ear and she nodded. Hyuga Hanata versus Karui of Kumo. Ready? Hayate asked, and seeing the both of them nod, he said, Hajime, my lucky day. I get to face a Hyuga. Karui said and got a confused look from Hinata. What I mean this the Hyuga specializes too much on taijutsu. What I mean is that the Hyuga specialize too much on taijutsu. If I keep my distance, you cannot do anything. I wonder why our former Raikage wanted your bloodline so much. Karui said. Hinata frowned. You know, I was the one that was kidnapped that day, she said, and Karui raised an eyebrow. So that means you are the heiress. My lucky day, I get to kick your ass and prove that the Hyuga are worthless. Karui says smirkingly. Hinata chuckles sadly. I am no longer the heiress of the Hyuga, for that matter. Hinata replied, I don't understand. Karui said, what I meant is that I no longer belong to the Hyuga clan. My father deemed me too weak to be the heiress of the clan, so he banished me with the cage bird seal and disowned me from the clan. Hinata explained, and a few on the stand gasped. Balcony, that's cruel to leave your daughter because she is weak, Ino said. She wondered what would happen if that happened to her. Kuronai seethed her teeth. When she found out, she wanted nothing more than strangle that Hiyashi to do that to his own family. No wonder he sent his own brother to his death. Hyuga Hanada versus Karui of Kumo. Karui didn't say anything. She never knew that Hyugas would be so cold and uncaring. The head about the she heard about that they were arrogant and stoic, but this was a new law. In the end, I should be grateful to you. Hinata started and seeing Karui confused look, she continued, if you didn't kidnap me, Naruto-kun wouldn't have saved me, and maybe my father would never have expelled me. The last few years I have spent with Naruto-kun were my happiest time. My father never showed love or compassion for any sort, so I guess in the end everything worked out for the best. Hinata concluded, showing a small yet true smile. Naruto-kun, you mean that blonde kid? Karui asked, pointing to our favorite blonde witch watching in the balcony. Why are you calling me the kid? We are the same. Why are you calling me the kid? We are the same age. Naruto stared from the balcony. Yes, he was the one that found me when I was being kidnapped and managed to hold off and eventually defeat my kidnapper, Hinata said, and Karui's eyes widened. But you are 6 years old. How can a 6-year-old kill a Jonin? Karui asked in shock. Everyone who heard her took a while to assimilate, assimilate and turned to face the blonde. Naruto shrugged and answered, that is what happened when people underestimate me. That is what happens when people underestimate me. Even though I was 6 years old, I already was gaining level and I was very sneaky. He underestimated me and paid the price, Naruto explained, and the audience slowly nodded. Hinata smiled, remembering all of the fun they had since they started living with him. Since she started living with him, teaching him proper manners at the table, smacking him with the pillow so he could wake up, hiding his ramen, helping him out with pranks, training with him, watching the night skies and the sunset with him, living with him, sleeping next to him, kissing him. Did you mention that if you kept your distance from the Hyugas, it would be fine? But with me, that doesn't apply. I can assure you that I am a master at the I am a master at the Jugen, but I don't stick with only that. As I will show you now. Hinata said and dropped to the basic Jugen strike. Ready? Hinata asked, and Karui nodded and picked her sword up from her back. Hinata channeled chakra to her wrist still, and in a puff of smoke, there was in her hand 20 inches long, 20 inches long, slanted edged, straight sword. The blade hilt was lavender with white lines around the edge. So, Kenjutsu, Karui said and dashed towards her. Karui jumped and did a vertical slash only to Hinata block her own with her own sword. Hinata jumped back and did a few hand seals and shouted, Fusion, Temperature, Water Bullet. Hinata went few composed water bullets at a high speed towards Karui. Karui skillfully evaded all of them and watched as they collided with the wall and removed a very good chunk of it. Karui gloves, if that had hit her, it would have broken a few bones. Karui once again rushed forward and asked and said, "Cloud style, the cloud style, deception slash," and made a slash motion to her with her sword. Hinata easily blocked, but Karui turned to smoke, revealing a wooden log. Hinata activated Byakugan just in time to block a later swing from Karui's sword and jumped back, gaining a bit of distance, gaining a bit of distance from Karui. Hinata knew that she didn't stand a chance with Kenjutsu. She preferred to drag us to sword. Daggers were easy to integrate with her taijutsu style and allowed for more swift motion without losing of much opening. Hinata channeled wind chakra to her sword and quickly closed the distance. Karui brought her sword to block. Wrong move was as Hinata made a few quick flash and destroyed Karui's sword, leaving it in the pieces on the ground and Karui holding the hilt. What did you do? Karui asked, getting pissed off. That was her favorite sword. After a few shuriken, I can tell you, you are a better at kenjutsu than me, as I had to take care of that. I channeled the wind chakra to my sword and destroyed yours. Hinata explained and once again ran through hand seal and said, exploding water wave. Hinata expelled great amounts of water to the arena, completely flooding the ground balcony. Possible. Not possible. That's an A rank water jutsu. How can she have enough chakra for that? Kakashi asked out loud and turned to Kuranai. What have you been teaching them? He asked. Kuranai seemed distracted. I didn't teach them anything. All credit goes for Naruto. Kuranai said, and Kakashi turned to Naruto. I told you I have been training since I was 5 years old. Hinata joined me when she was 7. The dead last and the shy girl was all a cover, despite description. Deception is a ninja's greatest tool. Naruto said, and everyone turned their attention to the arena. Hyuga Hinata versus Karui of Kumo. Lighting style. Emotion wave. Karui said, and the channeled ration chakra to her hands and released it through the water to shock Hinata. Hinata saw this and jumped up to break her connection with the water. She went through hand seals and said great breakthrough and sent a gust of wave that despite disrupted the lightning attack and made Karui lose her balance. Hinata took this opportunity to make a quickly went through few hand seals and then shouted her favorite water technique. She shouted her favorite water technique, water dragon. A dragon arose from the water in the ground and quickly crashed into Karui, who didn't have time to dodge. Karui was sent crashing into the wall and hit the pressure of the water dragon. Karui was a little dazed from the impact and slowly got up, but Hinata quickly approached next to her and shouted, "Water prison!" A chunk of water rose and quickly formed a sphere that trapped Karui inside and enwrapped her in endured her unable to move. Hayate was shocked. The amount of skill the girl displayed with water jutsu was Jonin level. He managed to break free from his stupor and said, "Winner, Hyuga Hanata, balcony. She won, Naruto chanted as she watched everyone on the balcony explode his team tier in shock as Hinata made her way up the stairs. Even the Hokage was shocked at the skill she showed. Kakashi broke free from his own shock. He blinked and blinked again. Kakashi approached Neji. Can you check her chakra levels? She asked, startling. Neji activated his Bakugan and froze to what he saw. That's impossible. She has elite Jonin chakra levels. How is that even possible? She is a genin and not even nothing but a failure. Neji said. If she is a failure, I wonder what a genius would do. Kakashi mastered Naruto quickly hugged Hinata and spun her around. "Congratulations him," Naruto said, making her giggle. "You are nothing but a failure. To rely on ninjutsu only to prove that you aren't meant for the Byakugan," Neju coldly stated. "Then, if we face in the finals, I will show you my Shugen," Hinata said. "Omoi from Kumo and Fu from Taki, please step into the arena to begin the match," Hayate announced. Omoi from Kumo and Fu from Taki. "Ready?" Hayate started asked and both nodded, and they started their fight. Fu quickly went through a few handsills and said, "Water whip." Fu took advantage of the existing water and quickly made four water waves that grasped Omoi's arm and legs as pinned him into the spot. Fu approached him from the behind, placed a kunai at his neck, yelled. Fu said, "Yield," Fu said. Omoi tried to struggle to find a way to free himself from this bind, but they weren't budging. "I surrender," Omoi said. "Winner, Fu of Taki, balcony." That was anticlimactic. Samui said was he watched as she watched Omoi return to the balcony with his head low. To be caught off guard and defeated with a single jutsu it was a shame. "Man, those things are really tight. They wouldn't budge." Omoi said while sucking on his lollipop and smacking his head in disappointment. What affinity do you have? Naruto asked. The most people of Inkumo are like most people in Kumo have lightning. Why? Omoi said you could have channel lightning chakra through the whip, and since they are water, they would most likely have weakened from you for to perform a substitution. Have weekend enough for you to perform a substitution. Naruto explained, and Omoi face planted. How come I didn't think of that? Omoi asked. Naruto shrugged his shoulder. Ni Yuto versus Aburame Shino, please come to the arena to begin the match. Hayate, good luck, Shino, Naruto said, and Hinata nodded. Thank you, but it's unlikely I will win, Shino seriously said, heading down the arena. We will. Well, he is excited. He is excited, Asuma said. Well, he is excited, Asuma said. Aburame Shino versus Niiwito ready? Hayate asked as both nodded. Hajime, the Hayate said, and they jumped back. Immediately as Hayate said start, Yugito jumped into action and quickly closed the distance between her and Shino. Yugito jumped into the air and performed a drop kick. Shino brought his arms up to an X formation and blocked the kick. Shino quickly grabbed her legs and spun her toward the wall. Yugito twisted media landed gracefully on the wall like cat would. Backing looks like Shino taijutsu skill has increased, Kakashi said in surprised. Since Naruto and Hinata were more advanced, it gave him more time to focus on Shino. Also, his main weakness as most long-range is taijutsu, so he tried to get him a defensive style taijutsu style. Defensive type taijutsu style. Kurona explained and Kakashi nodded. Go, Shino, kick her ass, Naruto yelled. Karui just shook her head. Naruto would defeat her in a spar, and yet he still had childish behavior. Yugiro dropped from the wall and into the ground and crouched in all four like a cat getting ready to pounce on the victim. Shino eyed her very carefully and started releasing his bugs. Yugito saw the bugs heading towards her and shouted, Phoenix Fire Jutsu. Multiple fireballs crushed into Shino's bugs and it engulfed them in flames. Yugito smirked but quickly dropped her smile when she noticed that the bugs were still coming as if nothing happened to them. How did you do that? Yugito, my main weakness is fire. Since it can easily destroy my bugs, so I coated them with water chakra to protect them. Shino certainly explained. I guess I have to turn up the heat. Yugito said smirking. Let's go, Nibi. Yugito said to her partner. Yugito said to her partner. Right, kitten, Nivi replied. A blue fireball jutsu. Yugito yelled and unleashed a big blue fireball towards Shino. This fireball engulfed the bugs and immediately turned them to dust. The fireball continued its path towards Shino. Earth wall, Shino said, and smashed a small earth wall rose in front of him to protect him. The fireball collided with the earth wall and slowly but surely began to apply pressure. The all didn't stand a chance, but a Biju power with a Biju powered fireball that began to crack until it collapsed. Shino saw the all starting to crack and immediately jumped away. Yugito expected such as so she was there to greet with a furious punch to his face. Yugito pushed through him, but he transformed into Bug clone. Yugito thought as the clone she punched began to surround her. Yugito channeled Nibi's chakra, and one by one each of the bugs began to fall on the ground, killed by Biju extremely poisonous chakra. I surrendered. She destroyed one of my hives, and I am low on chakra. It would be illogical to proceed. Shino said, breathing heavily. Winner by forfeit, Ni Yugito. Hayate said, "You did good, Shino." Kurunai said, and he nodded. Yeah, it would be very nice to had win against someone like her. Naruto said, yeah, it would be very hard to win against someone like her. Naruto said, what's so special about her? Sasuke asked, but it felt more like a demand. Let's just say she is the number two. Naruto said, smirking, and Sasuke was about to jump when Kakashi caught his shoulder. The Hokage said that and already suspected as much. Suspected the Hokage here heard that and already suspected as much. That means that with her, there are 5 Jinchurikis here. The Hokage thought. Nara Shikamaru versus Inazuka Kiva, please come to the arena. Hayate yelled, yeah, the lazy ass, we have this one on the bag. Yeah, the lazy ass, we have this one on the bag. Kiva chased and he picked up Akamaru and ran to the arena. Ready, Hayate asked. That's right, we are. Kiba yelled, troublesome. I guess I am. Shikamaru replied, Hajime, start. Hayate said and jumped back. This is so troublesome. I am not. I am no match for Kiba's speed or strength. Shikamaru thought as and analyzed Kiba and came up with a plan to defeat him. Kiba immediately went four legs technique. We could see as Kiba crouched to the ground in all fours. His nails become more elegant as his fang and his eyes took a more ferocious grin with a vertical slit. Kiva ran forward with immense speed, and Shikamaru, the lazy ass he is, he decided to run and avoid every strike Kiva tried. This continued for a few moments until Kiva got tired and jumped back, gaining some distance. Fight back, lazy ass! Kiba yelled, getting pissed off that he didn't hit him one single time. I am fighting back, trouble, or drag. Shikamaru said we inside. Shikamaru went through his pocket and took a smoke bomb. He threw it to Kiva and entered the arena where Kiva became covered in smoke. Inside the smoke, Kiba was quickly turning and checking every position to find out what exactly Shikamaru was trying to do. He checked left, right, up, and his left. Kiba was getting tired of this and about to jump away when he was frozen, unable to move. As the smoke cleared, Kiba could see Shikamaru crouch with his hand in the rat seal. What did you do? Kiba asked. As he struggled to move, Kiva could see from the corner of his eyes that Shikamaru was also frozen in the same place. Shadow imitation jutsu. Success, Shikamaru said. In the beginning of the match, when you engaged me in taijutsu, I placed a few small bells in you. Placed a few small bells in you. When I threw the smoke bomb, I blocked your vision for me so you couldn't see what I was doing. Since you had the bells, I could easily find you in the midst of the smoke and connected my shadows to your previous prevention for moving, preventing you from moving. Shikamaru explained. Forfeit. Shikamaru said, "Fine, I surrender." Kiba said, angry how it turned out. Winner by forfeit. Nara Shikamaru. Hayate said, "Who thought the lazy ass would come up with that?" Sakura shyly said. Asuma laughed. "You know, I gave him an IQ test and he scored 220. The kid's a genius. He never got good scores in the academy because he was always too bored to do more." Asuma said, chuckling to the smoke of shock to the shock of many. Just slightly above you, Hinata whispered to Naruto. Asuma overheard what Hinata said. "What do you mean, slightly over him?" Asuma asked. "Exactly that. Naruto did an IQ test like everyone. However, in the academy he scored less than 50, which would mean a severe lack of cognitive function. Severe lack of cognitive function. He tested each other. However, we tested each other at home, and he scored 210." Hinata explained, and everyone's jaw hit the floor. "How can the dead last have such a high IQ?" Asuma said. "The same way Shikamaru, who was almost the dead last as well has as well." Naruto said, chuckling, "But I am not the only one. My Hima here also scored 200 points." Naruto said and chuckled at their faces. The dead last and the shy girl were genius. This never gets old. Naruto thought, how would wonder what more did you hide? I wonder how more have you what more did you hide? Asuma asked him, and he shrugged his shoulder. "Uzumaki Naruto versus Rock Lee. Please step into the arena for the match," Hayate called out, looking like we are up. "Lee, I want to test my dragon fist against your strong fist, so how about I only use taijutsu, no bloodline even?" Naruto said, "That's the most youthful thing someone has ever said to me." "I agree. Let's show them the power of youth," Lee yelled, making everyone wince at the tone. "Such a youthful opponent. You should make him your eternal rival," Guy yelled. "Yes, Guy Sensei," Lee said. Guy Sensei." Both master and student were hugging each other in a embrace as the water came rushing between them and crashing into the rocks. Tamari could be seen shaking. Tears could be seen shining as the sun was going down. "Kaki, Gaki, Naruto, Kaki, Kaki," Naruto yelled. "Kurama, help!" He pleaded to his partner. Kaki means release, maybe. "It doesn't work. What sort of genjutsu is this?" Kurama said as he ran to the back of his seal and closed. Kurama said as he ran to the back of his seal and closed his eyes with his tails. "Wait!" Sakura yelled, making Naruto turn back as he was already going down to the arena. "You have a bloodline?" Sakura said. "Yes, I do," Naruto said, and disappeared. "Any more question?" As he turned to leave again. "How can a clanless and an orphan loser like you have a bloodline?" Sasuke smugly asked. Naruto clenched his fist in anger. He most likely channeled the Kyuubi's chakra, but Kurama managed to hold it. Naruto managed to calm down. "You know, Sasuke, one day you will eat all those words. You are not as special as you think. Besides, People say that my bloodline is the strongest in the world. Naruto said, please dope. The Sharingan is the most powerful bloodline in the world. Sasuke said smirking, "If you say so," Naruto said, laughing as he made his way down the stairs. People who knew he had the Sharingan chuckled at his wordplay. Naruto Uzumaki versus Rock Lee, ready Nayate asked, and both nodded. Final match of the preliminaries, Naruto Uzumaki versus Rock Lee. Start. And Hayate said and jumped back. We are both genius of hard work. Let's show them the power of taijutsu. Naruto said and got into his stance, left leg in front of the right with both knees bent, left arm stretched with the hand palm facing the enemy while the right arm was coiled near the waist with a fist. Lee had a more simple stance where he was standing straight with his left arm behind his back and his right arm pointing to the enemy with a strike palm. Strange, Guy amused. Never seen that particular stance before. Guy thought out loud, nervously, nursing his chin while he thought. That stand belongs to the taijutsu style of his father, with a few modifications that Naruto integrated in there. Hinata said, I thought Naruto was an orphan. Sakura asked. He is, but his father left him scrolls with his jutsu. Hinata explained. Who was his father? Sakura asked. It isn't my place to tell, Hinata replied, and Sakura frowned. Must be some unknown Chunin who got drunk and died in some mission. Sasuke said, and Kakashi was about to snap his neck for disrespecting his sensei. Obviously, he's gonna snap his goddamn neck. As Hayate said, Rock Lee immediately started running to Naruto. He closed the distance in no time. Lee jumped and said, leave whirlwind, and tried to kick him. Naruto brought his right arm and blocked the kick. Lee jumped back and Naruto immediately regretted blocking that as his arm felt a little numb. As Lee touched the ground, he went again at high speed towards Naruto and both engaged in a fierce display of taijutsu due to the fact that Naruto could use chakra to empower his muscle. He had a slight advantage in speed in the short bursts that were practicing for his quick counter. The battle went on until Lee quickly got in past his defenses. Lee crouched beneath Naruto and said, leaf rising wind. Lee tried an uppercut with his feet at Naruto, but he managed to roll and dodge it. As Naruto was rolling, he tried to swipe Lee's leg only to make him jump back and evade it as well. As soon as Lee touched the ground, he disappeared into a burst of speed. Naruto looked around until he felt Lee above. He looked up just in time to block a powerful drop kick with both arms. Naruto quickly grabbed his leg and threw Lee at the ground. Lee spun and launched without trouble at the ground. Your taijutsu is very good, Naruto-kun, as expected of my eternal rival. Lee said with tears in his eyes. Naruto shuddered and replied, surely, eternal rivals. Naruto knew he might have signed his death sentence right there, but this match was extremely good. Hinata was very good sparring partner at taijutsu, but she always used her gentle fist style. Naruto never faced a user of the Goken. Even though Naruto had the advantage in speed, he was sometimes managed to get in a punch or kick, but Lee seemed to brush them off as nothing more than a little scratch. With this difference, speed was almost removed by Lee's action in taijutsu, putting them in equal in skill. This time, Naruto took chance and ran towards Lee. Naruto threw a sloppy punch that Lee easily sidestepped, but that was what Naruto wanted. As soon as Lee sidestepped his punch, Naruto threw his hand to the ground to support himself and used his leg to send Lee between his feet. Naruto, with swift motion of his ankle, threw Lee at who didn't see that coming and was unable to block. Impressive guy, shocked with that particular movement that managed to firmly give Lee some damage. Naruto taijutsu style interrupted a lot of the uh, aerobic movement. He would snapped Lee's neck that one. Hinata explained, and Guy's eyes widened. Thank God his student was alive. I didn't expect such a technique from you, Naruto-kun, Lee said as he got up and brushed off the dust. Lee, take them off. Lee, take them off. Guy yelled from the balcony. Lee heard what his sensei said and was surprised, but I thought you would only remove them if it was to protect someone important to you. Lee said, it is, but this time I'm giving you permission to remove them. Guy said. Lee heard this and smiled. He sat down in the ground and removed the weights he was wearing beneath his orange leg warmers. So he was wearing using uses weight. I knew this wasn't his full power. Naruto thought and considered moving his shield, but he couldn't wait and see if it was necessary. Could wait and see if it was necessary. Just removing a bit of weight wouldn't do anything, Sakura said. She watched Lee remove his weight and drop them in on the ground and caused a crash that shocked the entire arena. Sakura's eyes widened at the weight he had. Wasn't that a bit too much, Guy? Kakashi said, and Guy snapped. How can he even stand with so much weight? Yugito yelled. What was with these leaf ninjas? Why are they all crazy? Yeah, they are all crazy. Whoosh, now I can move freely, Lee said, and Naruto lost track of Lee. Naruto didn't even manage to blink as Lee appeared right in front of him and delivered a powerful punch straight to his face that sent Naruto tumbling to the ground. Naruto slowly got up as Lee appeared next to him and kicked him in the stomach and sent him crashing to the wall. Naruto slowly got up as Lee appeared next to him. Lee crouched and kicked him into the air. Before Naruto could process the situation, he was already in the air. He blinked just in time to see Lee give a drop kick. And sent him to the ground, crashing into the cement floor hard. The floor cracked from the pressure and released a cloud of dust. That is some speed, Kakashi said. Unbelievable. I didn't even see anything, Sakura said. Why can't my Sharingan track that speed? He's nothing more than a blur, Sasuke thought as he sheathed his teeth. Looks like Naruto is done, Asuma said as he smoked his cigarette. I wouldn't be so sure, Kurona replied with a knowing grin and got confused faces from Kakashi and Asuma. Naruto slowly got up and removed a few rocks that were nearby for the crash crate he caused from the crate he caused. He dusted himself off and saw his rugged jacket. I like this jacket, Naruto said, and everyone's sweat dropped as remained so calm when he just got pummeled to the earth. Naruto raised his right hand and made a half tiger seal. Gravity seal, release. His whole body slowly glowed and dimmed down. You aren't the only one who trained with weights, Lee, though I prefer resistance seals, Naruto said as he flexed his muscles to get used to his new speed. Naruto ran with blinding speed towards Lee. Lee didn't have time to do anything as Naruto took a page from Lee's book and punched him straight in the face and sent him to the ground. Fast, Kakashi said. Looks like you are right, Kuronai. He also had weights on, Kakashi said, and Kuronai nodded, but I didn't see him removing weights, Kakashi Sensei asked. Naruto wasn't physically weight. Doesn't use physical weight. He was using what it what it what now he was using what it's called a gravity seal. These seals are invented by the fourth Hokage, and basically they restrict the body's movement, making you put more strength to move. Kakashi explained, and nodded. I want those seals, Sasuke demanded. Sorry, but I cannot give you can't give you. They can only be applied by someone very versed in seal, and they are very dangerous to anyone who doesn't know seals. If you don't know how to properly use them, you may not be able to deactivate them during a battle, giving the opponent a big advantage. Kakashi explained with a serious tone. Then how can that dope use them? Sasuke asked as he saw Naruto get laps ahead of him. That power should be mine. Apparently he is very good with seals and a seal master, Kakashi said, to the surprise of everyone. But I thought you needed to be very smart to learn that, Sakura asked. Then I guess that Hinata was saying the truth about his IQ, Kakashi said, chuckling. They both they both engaged in a vicious taijutsu battle. To anyone below Jonin, they were nothing but blurs such speed. The power and the speed that was blinding those attacks. It was enough to completely shatter any bone it hit the opponent. Every single punch or kick they gave, the opponent blocked it and sent a shockwave toward the whole arena. Lee disappeared in a burst of speed and quickly appeared behind Naruto and threw a punch. Naruto caught the punch and with both hands and brought Lee in front of him and placed a kick in his stomach. Lee simply shrugged it off as expected. I'm fast, but you have more strength, Naruto said. So it is, Lee said as he regained his balance and untied his in both arms. Sleeps. Lee disappeared and quickly appeared next to Naruto and kneed him in the stomach. Naruto dropped over and Lee kicked him into the air. Naruto was in the mid-air when he appeared next to him and trapped his back. Lee disappeared and said quickly appeared next to Naruto and him need him in the stomach. Naruto dropped over and Lee kicked him into the air. Naruto was in mid-air when Lee appeared next to him and trapped him back. Lee slightly quick, slightly quickly left his arms and wrapped around him. Lee picked Naruto and both started spinning very fast and going in fast onto the ground. Front floaters. This is going to hurt, Naruto thought as he was spinning and heading first to the ground. Boom! A massive shockwave was heard through the whole room as Lee sent Naruto to the ground, making a big crater, much bigger than the one that was previously there. Lee was on the side as he watched the dust clouds settle and saw Naruto lying on the ground. Oh! Naruto barely said as he got up from the crater and shook his shocked face from everyone. That hurt like hell. I am already regretting not using my bloodline. I am already regretting not using my bloodline, he said as he got up and flexed his neck and dust off his clothes. How can you stand up after that? Lee said as he was starting to get tired. That move was forbidden by his senses due to the toll it took on his muscles. I channeled chakra to my body to strengthen it and lessen the impact, but even so, it hurts like hell. Naruto said as he got ready to continue the onslaught. It's about time to show you the true power of my taijutsu. True power of my taijutsu, Naruto said. He didn't want to give him time to recover and quickly ran towards him and said, Leaf Whirlwind. Naruto already knew this move and got the opportunity. He gave the kick appearance and elbowed Lee's leg. Lee toppled over in pain and nursed his leg. I am sorry, Lee, but my true taijutsu is meant to target weak and specific points along the human body. I didn't put much pressure to break the bones. Please surrender. I do not want to hurt you. Naruto said, I cannot give a guy sensei. Forgive me, but I must use this. Lee said and rose up. He brought his arm in front of his chest and with an X for Naruto watched was his face started to show his veins started to show beneath his skin and his skin started to become redder. Naruto's eyes widened when he realized what Lee was about to do. Lee, you cannot open them. This is getting out of hand. Naruto said, I cannot give up, Born. This is my ninja way. Lee said, gate of opening, open. Lee said as his veins started getting more defined under his skin. Gate of healing, open. Lee said as he started to turning red. Gate of life, open. Lee said as a green aura could be seen forming around his body. Gate of pain, open. Lee said. Gate of closing, open, Lee said, and the air around him began to swirl around him due to the massive amount of chakra he was releasing. You taught him how to open the gates, Kakashi said. Are you insane? He asked. I don't want to hear this from you. You can't use ninjutsu. Don't want to hear this from you. He cannot use ninjutsu or genjutsu. Taijutsu is the only thing he has. Guy replied, I can see the chakra around his body. This is amazing. Sakura said as she watched in wonder the power that was emanating from Lee. I want you to teach me this, Kakashi sensei. Sasuke said, "Never. The gates are extremely dangerous. There are 8 gates in the human body. If you open all of them, temporarily gain a boost of strength that can even surpass the Kage, but then you die." Kakashi explained, "Lee is using them. Then that means he is going to die?" Sakura asked, If you die if you open the 8th and the last gate. Moreover, if your body isn't strong enough to handle the strength of lower gates, you can easily die as well. Kakashi explained, and Sasuke scoffed. You are truly amazingly, but I cannot lose here as well. And I promise only Taijutsu, which only leaves me with this as my last trump card. Come, gate of opening, gate of closing, Kamino, Yamano, Shimon, Shimo, Tomoki, Naruto said and exploded in chakra. What? Kakashi yelled as he watched Naruto so easily open 5 gates, the 5 gates that I mentioned before. How can he open the gates as well? He is crazy, Kakashi said. Kuronai, Kakashi started. Did you teach him this? Kakashi asked in a dangerous voice. No, I didn't even know he could use this. Kuronai said as just a surprise. Relax. Hinata started and got the attention of everyone. He knows what he's doing. Anyone can open the gates as long as they know while they are situated in the human body. I can open them as well. I can go up to 4. Hinata said, and everyone stared at her in shock. Kakashi gulped and revealed his Sharingan to see the battle that was about to unveil. How many gates can he open? Kakashi asked. Hinata smirked and shouted, "Naruto, go full power!" Naruto laughed at the statement. Hinata was excitement, enthusiasm. Hinata was showing and decided to show them. "Kurama, get ready. I'm going full strength," Naruto said, smirking. "Honestly, you have no retain," Kurama replied. Gate of joy, open. Gate of shock, open," Naruto said as he was surrounded by a blue aura. 7 gates, Kakashi said, barely standing. Sakura, Ino, and most of the weaker Genins were on the ground. The amount of power Naruto was unleashing was pushing the air from everyone. "Gate of death, open," Naruto said, and everyone's eyes widened. Naruto's muscle burst out completely, ripping off his mesh armor, the T-shirt he had, leaving his torso naked. Naruto started walking towards Lee. Everyone stepped. He looked. The ground beneath him cracked. Every step he took, the ground beneath him cracked. His eyes were completely blue, and his skin was red. He was sweating heavily, and that gave him a blue aura around. His hair was flowing in the air and slightly glowing. He opened the last gate, Kakashi said as he fell to his knees. "Don't worry," Hinata said calmly, and everyone stared at her. "There are 5 people in the whole world who can use all the gates and leave, and Naruto is one of them," Hinata concluded. You mean he can open the last gate and leave?" Guy asked, and she nodded. Guy gasped and turned his attention to the arena. This was a moment of a lifetime, to be able to witness all 8 gates opened. "Ready, Lee?" Naruto asked. His voice got a deeper tone. due to all the open gates. Lee gasped and slowly nodded, not really wanting to see just what was going to happen to him. Naruto disappeared in a burst of speed and that not even the Hokage could follow. Not even Kakashi's Sharingan managed to follow him. Lee looked around when suddenly felt a clenching pain in his stomach. On his stomach, he looked down and saw Naruto with his fist enveloped in his chest. Lee was sent flying before he could hit anything. Naruto appeared beneath him and kneed him in the ground and sent him into the air. Naruto disappeared once again and appeared above Lee in the air. Naruto punched Lee with such strength that sent a shockwave through the whole arena. Anyone watching had to secure themselves with chakras to stand. Lee was about to crash into the ground when Naruto pulled him back by his arm slightly and gave him a drop kick to the chest and sent crashing into the ground. When Lee smashed, the whole building was shaken, and the arena was blown to beat. The Hokage and the Jonin that were watching had to leave, otherwise they would receive the full power of the blast wave. Naruto dropped to the ground and kneed. Even though he could survive opening all the gates, it took a very large toll on his body. Hayate approached Lee to see if he was even in one piece. He approached him and touched his neck. He felt a weak pulse for him. Win by knockout. Naruto Uzumaki. Hayate said startlingly. He snapped from his shock and yearned, "Medics!" No one said anything to the amount of power they had just displayed. They wondered how even Lee managed to survive such brutal strikes. They saw Naruto slowly walk up to them. They noticed he was breathing heavily. So that's the power of the eighth gate. Guy said as he ran towards his fallen student. Are you okay, Naruto? Kakashi asked. Naruto shrunk on the ground and leaned against the wall. Yeah, I just need a little bit of sleep and I will be back up in no time. You are not human, Yugito said as he approached Naruto. Funny, because if it weren't for the fireball, I would have died, Naruto said, chuckling to the shock of many confused of others. Shock of many, confusion of others. You probably wouldn't survive. Anyone below the fifth wouldn't survive opening the last gate. I don't like opening gates because I have better options, but I promise Lee a taijutsu only battle. I wouldn't be able to move properly today, Naruto said. Do you know any of them? Sasuke smugly asked, trying to get as much information as he could. Well, of the five that can survive, there are three in here. There's me, Killer B, there's me and Killer B. Naruto said, pointing towards the Kumo team Jonin. And there is Fu. Naruto concluded, pointing to Fu, the member of the Taki team. Why are they so special? Sasuke asked, and everyone tensed. No, not my place to tell, Sasuke. Naruto replied and got to his feet. Sasuke scowled at the lawn. Congrats, gather up. Competitors gather up, Hayate said as everyone who was who passed, was now standing in front of Hayate. Is Lee alright? Naruto asks. Well, according to the medic, his muscles are scratched, but he has a few broken bones and a dislocated shoulder and a concussion. Hayate replied, and everyone stared at Naruto, who was starting to feel bad for what he did. Don't worry, he will need to be in bed for 3 weeks before he can walk again, but he will be just fine, Hayate said, and Naruto sighed in relief. The final of this year's Chunin exams will be held in the main area in on month's time. Here is the tournament bracket. Take a good look, Hayate said and showed them the paper. Hyuga Hanata versus Hyuga Nechi. Fu versus Ni Yugito. Tamari versus Nara Shigemaru, Uzumaki Naruto versus Uchiha Sasuke, Sabuko no Gara versus Sabuko no Kankaro. Looks like I will be able to show you the true power of the Sharingan. Sasuke smirked towards Naruto. Naruto laughed and laughed, and Sasuke got pissed. What's so funny? Sasuke asked. I will give it to you. The Sharingan is an amazing tool, but that alone isn't enough. Naruto explained. You will never know the true power of the Sharingan, and I will show it to you in the finals. Sasuke said, smirking. I guess we will test whose bloodline is more developed. Naruto said, smirking. Everyone who was in the room just watched and began considering that Sasuke had a death wish. Considering if that Sasuke had a death wish bloodline or not, the amount of power Naruto unleashed here was enough to give Kakashi or Guy a run for their money. I guess we all face each other. We also face each other, cousin. I will show you what a failure you are, Neji said to Hinata with his traditional arrogant grin. Okay, maybe, but I will not give up. Hinata said, smiling. Okay, competitors, you may leave the room. See you all in 1 month. Naruto said behind. I want to talk to you. The Hokage said, and he nodded. With the Hokage, congratulations, Naruto-kun. Although you pulled a dangerous move, the Hokage said in a serious tone. I know I would never use the gate since I have better option, but I wanted to give Lee a taijutsu battle. Naruto explained, and the Hokage nodded. What do you plan to do during the 4 free months? The Hokage asked. Train, of course. What do you ask? Naruto asked. Well, since both of you and Hinata passed Kuruna, I can only train one person effectively. I thought I would mention that your godfather arrived yesterday to the town. And the Hokage said and watched Naruto's reaction. My godfather, who is he? Naruto asked, wondering who his father chose. My student Jiraiya is one of the teammates of your grandmother. The Hokage replied, and Naruto's jaw hit the floor. You mean the Jiraiya of the Sanin? Naruto asked, getting ready to chase to the man for training. The one and only. The Hokage replied, laughing. He should be in the hot spring. Naruto didn't think much of it and quickly left to the hot spring to meet his godfather. His godfather was the Jiraiya of the legendary three Sanin. He should really be able to teach him all sorts of powerful techniques, and he'd be very strong and sincere person, right? That's all for this part. I know it's a long part, but I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you want to be notified for future parts, the best way is by subscribing. That being said, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.